and we can start.
So yes, where we left the point where we should do the market survey. This was shared in the chat window by Rambur sir. Uh, that is where my next slide is. Understanding in your foundation, it is very important that who will buy and why will they buy. Again, the same statement goes: first, make yourself understand who will buy and why will they buy. It is once you really identify that what is the service or the freelancing you want to do for anyone. Once you are clear with that, or what kind of freelancing you want to do for anyone, you might as well want to further come up with who will buy and why will buy. This is where your one of the most important part or of your it's I believe it's more like a heart of your business, that who is really going to pay you, and that is nothing but your target audience. The reason I covered this previous slide, that don't sell everything, is for this particular reason only. If you're selling everything, then you might have a target audience of a lakh or more, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakh, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. uh, India's population is already a lot, and it's in billions, so of course you will get for your service on an average of a lakh or 2 lakh of potential customers. But if you really filter it down and funnel it down to something where you are very specific, that okay, this is the particular service which I provide, and for this particular service, this is my target audience, or this is the audience who I really want to work with. So your target audience is a two-way street. uh, there's a misconception that whatever service you bring out to the market, in the marketplace, whatever potential customer is available, that you have to serve them only. No, it's actually a misconception. If at all you don't want to serve a particular set of clients, there are service providers who want to just work with high paying clients, or they just want to work with anyone who has really have got good energy and good pulse in their business, and that is who they want to really serve, and not really serve their neighbors, though they might be their direct target audience. It's your choice, but then you have to be really very specific, because if you are specific about how you are going to, or who you're really going to sell that particular set of service, based upon that your entire further marketing strategy and plan gets decided. And that is where I'll again say, unless and until you're not clear with your foundation, it's very difficult to really identify. So imagine if you don't work on the foundation. Let's take a hypothetical situation that I start off with a photography business, and I say, okay, I don't have a clear focus. I just know there's a camera. I love clicking pictures. That's my passion. That's it. Now, any photographer I meet, any events come across, any person I come across, I just send out a visiting card to them. Okay, look, I am into photography. If you have any requirement, do let me know. Once you give that card out, that person doesn't know you are an expert or not an expert, or you're working in multiple verticals. They don't know. They hire you, and once the output starts coming out, that is where the misalignment starts, because your work is not fulfilling your client's requirement, and that is the most important set in your service providing business. I have been particularly in service business for more than 5 years, and I have been into product business for over 3 years. And I feel that difference in a go, that okay, when I'm going for my product meetings, product related meetings, there's a different approach, and when I'm going for my service meetings, the approach is entirely different, and the confidence is always different, because the product is already out there and it's tangible, whereas your service is intangible, and you will be asked questions on your capabilities, your credibility, your trust. Everything will be put to test. But then at that point of time, two things you really need to tone down is, one is really understand from what perspective or point of view a client is coming with those questions. And second one is, if they are paying you, definitely they want the best out of you. So you need to really give a thought, and you have to come over your ego and attitude that how can my client ask me that kind of a question. That those situations do come, but then yes, we have to tone ourselves down and really keep cool, keep calm, and answer your client's question. So in that process, it's in this particular, in the foundation process, it's very important that we be very clear about who will buy my products or services and why will they buy. Now, why is a very important aspect over here, which you need to be clear with. What happens is the businesses out there, the new businesses which are functioning out, especially the startup segment, they are a lot value based. So these startups are a lot value based. They have their own set of values and why. If your why and their why is not in alignment, then it is going to be a challenge for your every client you onboard. Because if you're not able to, if you have identified a particular set of target group, and if a single client's why is not aligning your client and you're calling them as your target audience, then you need to revisit your target audience exercise and really focus on what is that which is not getting aligned in this particular process. So why will anyone buy your product? Sit with yourself and answer this question. The next best way to really get this question answered is go and ask your friends and colleagues. Tell them that, look, I'm not here for marketing. I'm not here for selling anything. I need you to be my mentor and advice for my business. Now they'll feel like, oh my God, what's this? I'm not into this, mate. Your job is to help them understand, look, I need your sincere advice that if you were to buy this particular product, this particular service, I am an expert at this service, but for what reason could you buy this particular set of service from me and not from someone else? They might come up with very generic answers, and some might come up with a very different kind of answers which you might not know. And those will be your qualities, because in service business, your personal traits and your personal qualities reflect in your business and in your work, and that needs to be understood a lot. If your approach is always simplistic, your work is always going to be simplistic. If your approach has always been complex, your solution providing has always been complex, the client will also have the similar experience. So you need to be clear in your head and in your thought process so that your client also gets the similar experience there. Moving on, these are the set of questions you can always ask under the heading of foundation. For why is it important uh, for us to really understand who will buy and why? Why is it really important? So these are the set of questions you should always ask. And that is, first one, the benefit is, of course, it helps you identify your potential clients and where you can find them. Then every target market has its own communication setup already, and you need to really know that. And the third one is your target market takes you seriously. So if you convert the first importance into a question, you will get to know that first you need to really identify your potential clients, and then you can answer the question, where can I really find my target or potential clients? There will always be an alignment over there. And then the second point is linked to the first one. Once you really know where your target audience is, there is already a set of communication which is already there out there in the market, which you need to tap. So you can always check and see that, where can I find this set of communication out there in the market? For example, if you are into some kind of training business, there are training associations with whom you can associate with, and of course you can share your profile with them and ask them if any inquiry comes in, or do you have conferences, do you have webinars, do you have events coming in? You can always interact with them on those platforms. And the third one is, your target market is going to take you seriously. So when you're delivering your work, or even if you're talking something about a plan for your client, which is not a converted client, your potential client is always going to take you seriously, because your approach is expert and they want to hire expert, not an amateur. So sounding an amateur and doing everything might be a challenge with your business. Let's come to the strategy part. So we have still good amount of time to cover the remaining part of our presentation. So yeah, let's come to the strategy. Now, strategy is very vaguely used. Let some There's a question: how should person respond to inquiries in market always? So Keshav, let me take up this question towards the end. I will be covering it in the Q&A section. So first let's cover this and then might as well we'll go with that. Uh, the term strategy is understood so vaguely in the by everyone. In fact, anyone, if you ask what's your business strategy, they will always end up telling you their marketing strategy. I don't know why it is, but yeah, this is there. It's there out there in the market that if you ask any business owner, what is your strategy? They will always share their marketing strategy. Okay, I'll do this advertisement. I'll hire the agency. I'll hire a few people. I'll ask them to go on field and do the advertisement. Take a break there. Strategy is actually split in a lot different verticals. There are business verticals which I want. If you want it from my end, you can always connect offline after the presentation so that you will understand what all verticals are there of strategy you need to first tackle. And of course, marketing strategy is one of the verticals of the whole strategy. There is a finance strategy, there's a marketing strategy, there's human resource strategy. There's a lot other strategy verticals which are there and which we need to really jot it down on our paper or whatever plan we are making and execute it according to it. So it says that offer your service to those who need it and not who want it, because even you need them and not want them. One point strategy for today's webinar would be from my end that offer the services to those who really need your services and not really want. And there's a difference, and this is coming from the personal experience of mine. If your client is hiring you for their want and it is not a pressing need or a pressing issue of theirs, then the client retention rate might be very less. And if your client is hiring you as their want, it might happen that your client is really not clear as for what do they really want, what is that they're expecting out of you. And this happens a lot, specifically in terms of service business. uh, Service businesses are marketed in such a way that they are marketed in a generic way so that common man can understand. But once you start to sit with them and understand what are they looking for, you will get to know that, okay, this is not something I do, and this is not what I intend to do or provide as a service. But my client is thinking that, okay, ये करना है. Okay, fair enough. I onboard that client. I start giving out whatever inputs my client has given. And once you start delivering those solutions or your deliverables, your client will say, no, this was not something which we were expecting. Actually, we were saying this, and the requirement or the need will never be fulfilled. And your client is going to end up saying that you don't understand my need. What is my need? And the reason is that sometimes, yes, you might not be understanding, but many times it might be that your client is hiring you for their want. It is not their pressing need. And you really need to ask them, is whatever a service for which you are hiring me, am I helping you to solve your business's pressing need, yes or no? And I do that with my clients a lot, and that helps me a lot to get a clarity that, okay, this client's pressing need is this. And always do a Q&A and interactive session with your client so that you understand ki, okay, if it is a pressing need, why is it a pressing need? If it is, okay, you're clear with the why, okay, how is it really affecting their business? How is it affecting on and also on what levels is it affecting? Is it affecting on revenue? Is it affecting on their revenues? Is it affecting on their team management, or is it affecting in their infrastructure management? It can be anything. It can be absolutely anything, but always upfront to the client, is this your pressing need or is this your pressing issue? And trust me, your client will always be so open to answer this question in a such a way that he or she will exactly tell you what needs to be done, and that would be your scope of work, and that those would be your deliverables. That is something you need to really be particular about, and that is one part that it helps us to deliver or create our deliverables in such a way that our work gets approved always. But also, you need your client. And in service business, it's more the generic models are more like either you are hired on a project basis, or you are on a retainership basis. You want, since there's a fierce competition out there in the market, you always want your client who you have given your deliverables on a very satisfactory level, you always want them to come back to you and redo those transactions again and again. And in India, if you are getting into service business, the retainership business is one of the great businesses, because your scope of work is defined, your client's pressing issue or need is in place, and you are doing the business on monthly basis, and your business is guaranteed, your retention is guaranteed, your sustainability is guaranteed in that business. If you are on project basis, you have to be a little bit you have to spend little bit amount of time on getting more business or speaking to more people so that they can hire you. If you're working on multiple projects at one time, even if one project gets over, still you are secured enough to run your business for quite a good amount of time. So know that your client, you need them, and you don't want your client. You need your client, and your client also needs you, so that the equation is a good to go equation. Moving on, uh, the first step in the strategy is that after foundation, once you find out the urgent and pressing need of your potential target audience, ask these 5 questions. Before moving to those 5 questions, I would grab your attention and would want to focus on the cross which has been done after the need. Your particular target group might have a lot of urgent and pressing needs, and the S needs to we need to remove that S and focus on just one need. And that one need, how can you master that one need in depth on theoretical as well as on practical terms? You will be seen as an expert for your potential target audience, and your conversion rate also starts building from there. So these are the 5 questions you can always, these are the 2 questions you can always ask. First one is, what are 5 current and pressing needs of my potential target audience? And once you have those 5 pressing needs, check with yourself which need would you like to cater, or which need of theirs align to your passion. So remember the equation which I had shared, your passion and their value addition should match in the marketplace. And the second question which we can focus on is, what are 5 compelling desires of my potential clients? Now, one is, of course, the pressing need or pressing issue. But the second is that businessmen or the entrepreneurs are usually a lot on look for positive outcome. If their particular business problem or challenge is solved in a very easy and in a very smooth way, they will be able to accomplish what they are into, or for what they are into business, and that is their desire. Let's say if you are an accountant and you want your client's business to really thrive this year, you will create the best of the best accounting strategies for them, so that it gets executed in such a way that they accomplish that. Now that might not be their, now accounts mismanagement not be their urgent and pressing need, but their desire is to reach up to a certain level in the financial position, and you as a finance strategist or accounting strategist can always guide them on that front and help them achieve those desires. So again, over here, there's the S in desires that is also it needs to be crossed. You focus on one desire of your potential target audience. Next is Oprah Winfrey has a very beautiful quote which says that every time you suppress some part of yourself or allow others to play you small, you are in essence ignoring the owner's manual your creator gave you and destroying your design. So it's more related to doing everything, being passionate about what you love, being passionate about what you do or or of your hobby is one thing, but and connecting it to the marketplace is the another thing. But then also the flip side is that if your client is asking you to do something, or your potential audience target audience is asking you to do something with which your personal values beliefs don't really align, it's better to say no. And that is where the art of saying no really comes into picture. That learn to say no if it is not really your part, your value system or your belief system, or your, for that matter, not your scope of work. Don't do any of your freelancing or service providing or professional services just because it's demand of your clients. And uh, at my company, we are very much particular about that we will not take projects which really don't excite us, or really we know that there's nothing much we can do over there. But there's the flip side to this is that we always end up over delivering our clients, and our clients love to be with us because the whole point is that they get more than what they had asked for. We have been doing the work which is out of the scope of work agreement which we have signed, but then that really excites us, and that really gives a business kick to us and helps us to really proceed ahead and grow in business. So yeah, that's that. So be particular about that. uh, the last part in the strategy is why create a personal brand. It's very important. Okay, so Arimbur sir is saying, I always respond to calls by marketing executives because I myself was a marketing professional. Absolutely, sir. That's what whoever is doing the work really understands the depth of it. And if you can understand the depth of your client, if you use this analogy into your client's scenario, it adds more depth to your business. Now, coming to the last part, it is important to really create a personal brand. And that is where the question of many service providers out there in the market say that बहुत competition है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, या फिर your family members or your colleagues will say, your friends particularly say that अरे ऐसे तो बहुत भरे पड़े हुए हैं मार्केट में, कुछ उनके लिए काम ही नहीं मिल रहा, मेरे भांजा भतीजा, and they'll give you all दुनिया भर के references. But they don't really understand the depth of business which you're trying to create. I'm not saying you know the depth of business, but the depth you're trying to create. So it's better to leave those questions unattended at times, and there will be people who will say that. So it's very important that you really be true to yourself and align yourself with what you love doing, and then bring it out into the marketplace, because whatever you are is what gets reflected in your work, specifically in service business. And that is what your personal branding is. That is who you really are. You can't no one can, your clients can't change you, not your friends, not your colleagues, not your family can change you, whatever true you are. And trust me, again, there's a counter question whenever I say talk on personal brands. They say that अगर हर कोई हमारे इंडस्ट्री में अपना अपना ब्रांड बनाते चलेगा, तो there will not be much of audience left or target audience left. But the point which we are missing out over here is your personality trait. There are target audience which would love to work with just your personality trait and not someone else. The way people are now hiring anyone in service industry is more by the approach of the person, not by their the way their website feels or the way their appearance feels. No, they are not doing that. It is more on the front how you as a person are getting associated with them, with your client, and what relationship or bond are you building. I just want to share my personal experience. The 6 companies which I have been onboarded, they were my clients previously, and then they later offered me a role of chief strategy officer and chief marketing officer for their brands. And from then I have been on board as a stakeholder with them. It was clearly the clear intention and clear deliverables that, okay, this is what I love, this is what I love to do, and this is what I will deliver to you. And that became, I would not brag about it, but say that that became my personal identity and my personal branding, way of my branding. And none of my business right now comes from website, no advertisement, nothing. Everything comes from cold, everything comes from mouth to mouth publicity, or someone refers someone, and that's how the business is happening past 2 years now, and it's going good. So me being a personal testimony for personal branding, I can give you all the inputs and insights offline as well, if at all you want. So the first question, or the first point which you need to be very clear in why create a personal brand is clearly and consistently define. It helps you clearly and consistently define, express, and communicate who you are. It will give you a structure as for what really you will speak in the market, what really you will speak with the people, and you will be consistent with that. And also whatever you communicate, that would be very much understood by a potential target audience, and then it becomes their decision that whether to hire you or not to hire you. It becomes their choice whether to really work with you, whether to really associate with you or not to really associate with you. So that's point number one to be taken care of. That is the point number, that's in fact it's a benefit of why to create a personal brand. The second one is who you serve. You are again clear with who you really serve in the marketplace, and you will design and plan your marketing strategy which you are tempted for, with that keeping in mind. And what is your why? As I've already spoken about the why, your why and your client's why should align. That's why if your whys and their whys align, automatically you get associated, your personal beliefs and your client gets associated with your personal beliefs and values and your professional way of working. Moving on, these are the keywords which we should keep in mind. Uh, these are trust, credibility, learn, price, and relationship. Build trust in marketplace, build credibility, keep learning from your clients. Your clients are the best university, I believe. Keep your pricing on the sweet spot. Don't overprice unnecessarily, and build a relationship with your clients. So I've got a message now. 10 minutes remaining. Give me 5 minutes for vote of thanks. Okay, fair enough. I'll just quickly cover the plan. Just have a plan. That's what I will say. Either it in your head or on paper, it's important to have a plan. What could be the next immediate strategy for you is after the foundation, after you have worked on foundation and on the strategy, is first start creating your own profile, and start pushing out that profile first to your family, friends, colleagues, and referrals, because that is where the business will start coming in. Trust me, I would say it point blank. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube will not give you a business in first go. It takes a lot of time and it's a lengthy process. The first paying client will come from your friends, family, colleagues, and referrals. And then once you start building that, be sure you start building your personal brand on Instagram and all other social media platforms, in fact. In what format should I create my plan? Your plan should always have an audio, video, and text content all the time. because these are basic. It's more related to psychology. Some people understand audio, some people understand video, and some people love to read. We want all of them, and we should not miss out on any of them. uh, Final concluding points for the plan: your plan should be clear, it should be consistent, not that you create one plan today and tomorrow you scrap that entire plan and say, I'll restart or reset the button and start with something else. Be authentic, be true. Market is not going to say anything to you. Be memorable, create the memorable moments for your clients by maybe small gestures or anything. Provide meaningful services. That is very important, after specifically after the post 19 COVID-19 situation. Be soulful and be personal with your client, not personal as in take your personal life to them, but have a personal touch with them. And the last one is stop selling, start showcasing your thoughts, ideologies, philosophies, case studies, white papers, or anyhow you feel. And there's one question. There were two questions basically. The first one is how should, okay. It, Keshav had asked, how should a person respond to inquiries in the market? So Keshav, to be really very honest, you should always respond to your queries to the market by first understanding what is the market, what is the inquiry needing, what are they looking out for, rather than first picking up the call and then telling them that, okay, we provide these services. Your client, it might be that you might be providing some kind of service which your client didn't get it because you give them the service, you answered the queries in a point wise section. So first understand what are they looking for and what is the realistic problem, and then term it to some terminology in your service sector, whatever in your services column. That should suffice the job. Sarika has asked, what's your view on credential, certification, degree versus actual skill experience when it comes to the clients? How much importance is given? It depends on what industry you are catering to. There are industries which really require you to be you need to be you need to carry those credentials, wherein they really feel that, okay, you are a credible person and it needs you will be able to help them out in this particular problem or the challenge. And versus the actual skills and experience always win over credentials. That has been my personal experience. But to get started, it is always good to have certifications, not a mandatory, but actual experience and skills will give a better way ahead than credentials. That's what my personal view is. And there are some industries areas still apart from jobs. Okay, fair enough. So that's it from my end. If you want to connect with me for any of the queries or questions, you can always check. That's my phone number, that's my email ID, and you can always visit my website. Everything, all the information is there on my website. That's it. I thank you everyone for staying so patient enough, and I hope your time was a good, whatever time you invested with me have fetched some kind of a return on it. So over to you, sir.
Hello. Am I audible and visible to everybody? Audio, video visible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
On behalf of IAI 3, as a joint secretary, I have a role of giving vote of thanks. I really thank Rohan for making a wonderful presentation. Only few are lucky to have this session. I think remaining people in the IA knowledge sharing session will get the recorded version. Well, Rohan has just pushed you to be entrepreneur. You know, in my life, whatever I am today, it is somebody has pushed me. So in the same way, Rohan has pushed you to be an entrepreneur. So take this opportunity. You don't get everything ready-made. He has given you only the tips and clues. So the rest of it, you have to maybe Like say, we know in education in college, you get 10% what is useful in the work from the college, 90% is your personal experience. So start becoming an entrepreneur today. Well, friends, the next Tuesday we have session by Mr. Sudhir Kadam on 8th. The topic is powerful goal setting formula. This is again a very interesting. Every week, IAI 3 is arranging some very valuable information knowledge to you, which will help you to develop your career and business. So I'll welcome you to the next Tuesday. Well, friends, our e-journal is coming up. You all are requested to write articles up to 5th of September. Similarly, so far we have scheduled a knowledge sharing session up to 22nd September, 29th September, and full of October. Please let me know or let the group know your desire to conduct knowledge sharing session. I've been always saying one request that IAI free Dr. Neeta is spending some money to keep this organization moving. So I request all of you to become a paid members. It's only 1,500. It's the cost of one lunch. And finally, though this platform is not only for IAI, I'm having a knowledge sharing online session uh, of this transactional analysis from 23rd to 26th. I shared the flyer in the IAI group and knowledge sharing session. You are welcome to join. You can join the link and register so that we can interact each other. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.